Right now, your cells are metabolizing nutrients and generating a steady stream of chemical waste. At the exact same time, your blood pressure is constantly drifting, responding to every movement you make and every breath you take. If left unchecked, those normal metabolic byproducts would quickly become lethal. Without a way to continuously pull that waste out of your bloodstream, you would poison yourself from the inside out within hours. The urinary tract functions as a high-speed chemical refinery, maintaining a strict minute-by-minute regulation over the body's entire fluid composition. It relies on a dense, fragile web of autonomic nerves and specialized blood vessels, including end arteries, which have no backup routes if they are damaged. This makes the surrounding anatomy so delicate that even routine pelvic surgeries require intense precision to avoid disrupting the entire network. To understand how you survive your own biology every single day, we have to track the literal flow of fluid, starting from the moment your blood enters the body's master filters. That filtration begins tucked against the back of your abdominal wall, inside the kidneys. Inside these organs are millions of microscopic filtering units called nephrons. As blood rushes through them, the nephrons strip out metabolic waste while meticulously balancing your body's specific levels of acid and electrolytes, like sodium and potassium. Beyond filtration, the kidney also acts as the master control center for your entire cardiovascular system. This chart shows the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. When kidneys detect a drop in blood pressure, they release chemical signals. These nodes force blood vessels to constrict and prompt kidneys to retain water, increasing blood volume and rapidly stabilizing pressure. The kidney produces urine, but in doing so, it dictates the exact physical environment and pressure against which your heart must pump. Once the blood is filtered, waste is propelled down narrow ureters into the subperitoneal cavity, where the bladder sits. The bladder wall relies on highly specialized biological engineering. It is lined with transitional epithelium, cells that are normally round and clustered, but as fluid fills the organ, the pressure forces these cells to change shape, flattening them out to accommodate up to 500 milliliters of liquid. Surrounding those cells is a thick, dual-layered smooth muscle, known as the detrusor, which is highly sensitive to being stretched. As the bladder expands, stretch receptors fire electrical signals up the spinal cord. This triggers a sympathetic reflex, looping down to keep the detrusor muscle relaxed. Simultaneously, the pudendal nerve maintains a constant electrical signal, a glowing tension keeping the exit sealed. As the bladder reaches capacity, sensory signals travel to the pontine micturition center in your brainstem. The brain assesses your environment and overrides the spinal reflex only when it decides that voiding is socially appropriate. When you make that conscious choice, the nervous system executes a precise neurological flip. It switches to parasympathetic control, commanding the detrusor muscle to contract while simultaneously forcing the external sphincter to relax. The release of fluid is a coordinated handover between your unconscious spinal reflexes and the conscious decision-making centers in your brainstem. Because this network relies on exact chemical, mechanical, and neurological timing, any point of friction can derail the entire process. Sometimes the failure is strictly mechanical. If excess minerals in the urine crystallize, they can rapidly aggregate and lock together into jagged kidney stones. These formations block the delicate transit lines of the ureters, causing severe pressure buildups. In chronic kidney disease, the failure happens on a microscopic level. The nephrons gradually lose their filtration capacity, leading to a toxic buildup of internal waste, while the RAS blood pressure system begins to misfire and stress the heart. In conditions like urinary incontinence, that neurological checkpoint fails. Either the pelvic floor muscles weaken, or an overactive detrusor muscle spasms with enough force to physically overpower the sphincter's baseline tension. Yet despite these vulnerabilities, this system maintains a continuous loop of blood pressure regulation, cellular filtration, and perfectly timed muscle contractions for decades. This continuous daily integration of chemistry, mechanics, and neurology is what allows us to survive our own metabolism, quietly neutralizing our toxic byproducts every single second.